This is 7 News, the voice of the coast.
Tonight, more pain for mortgage holders as the Reserve Bank lifts interest rates to a 12-year high.
The coast turns out in force to celebrate the race that stops the nation.
I'm Daniel Gibson. Later on this news hour, 2 men arrested over that deadly crash that killed 2 young boys. And our positive new relationship with China after 7 years of trade trouble.
7 News begins now.
Good evening. Australian borrowers have been hit yet again with the Reserve Bank lifting interest rates to 4.35% to ensure inflation keeps falling.
It's the first rate rise since June and another blow to mortgage holders around the country and on the North Coast, with Christmas just 7 weeks away. Hannah Hardup joins us live now from Taree. And Hannah, what sort of an effect will this have on locals?
Nick, this rate rise will see pressures increase for people who are already struggling. Support services are worried that this could lead to even more people living on the streets.
Interest rates hit a 12-year high.
Well, this afternoon, the Independent Reserve Bank has increased interest rates by 25 basis points to 4.35%.
While this isn't the news many hoped for, it's not a shock based on predictions.
No, I don't believe it was a shock. I think everyone was predicting, all the chief economists of all the different banks were predicting the rate rise. I think with the rate of inflation at the moment, that the Reserve Bank obviously wanted to put on the brakes a bit more.
This is the first interest rate hike since June, with mortgage holders now having to fork out even more money.
So let's say, assuming you're a $400,000 home loan, that's about another $780 to the repayments per year, I guess depending on what sort of rates that they're on right now.
Many support agencies are worried about what this will mean for communities already doing it tough.
I think another rate rise is going to see a lot of people start to get homeless, unfortunately.
More people than ever are reaching out for help, and it's likely to only increase. Mid-Coast Outreach is seeing a spike of up to 7 new clients each week.
What I'm noticing is the change in our clients. We seem to have more families than anything else, which means a huge increase in mouths. It's per household that we do.
And with the holiday season just around the corner, this is a rough blow for Australian borrowers.
There's a lot of kids that aren't going to have the best Christmas this year, unfortunately.
Hannah Hardup, 7 News.
Tens of thousands of punters have headed to licensed venues across the coast to celebrate the Melbourne Cup away from the trackside. It was all about the fashion, food and drinks as the crowd celebrated the nation's biggest horse racing event.
It's the race that stops the nation but starts the champagne flowing and the cameras clicking. At Hello Sailor in Port Macquarie today, it was all about the fashion, with studs in suits and fillies in frocks. The fashions on the field was hotly contested. It was style and grace that landed Laura Meredith a win in the women's.
I was after something a bit elegant and classy.
Taryn Hyde took the victory with a local piece in the millinery division.
I went to Carol from the Hat Room in Port Macquarie. She's a local designer.
Peter Hodson brought it home for the men.
Good to get a win, always. Hopefully we'll get a win on the horses next as well.
He wasn't the only one looking to pick a winner in the main event. In the lead-up to the Melbourne Cup race, the tips were flowing.
The builders at the house said 21 and 5. Number 5, Baban. Let's go for it.
Gold Trip. Right you are. Put your house on it.
Put your house on it.
Number 3, Without a Fight.
And with the crowd on the edge of their seats as the gates opened for the country's biggest horse racing event, it was number 3, Without a Fight, that came home with the Cup Day victory. A number of punters taking home the cash as well.
I spread it across a few different horses, so gave myself the chance and came out with a win.
Follow me for more tips next year.
Samantha Crowe, 7 News.
The foster father of William Tyrrell has been cleared of lying to the state's Crime Commission. The 56-year-old can't be named for legal reasons and was accused of knowing that his wife had struck a young child in her care.
These are the cops assigned to solve the disappearance of William Tyrrell, who inadvertently discovered his foster mum had assaulted another foster child in her care. Her husband, William's foster dad, today cleared of lying about knowing of the assault, despite him being told of it in conversations recorded by bugs hidden in their home. I hit her on the leg with a wooden spoon. She's going to have a massive welt. We've got a problem. We've got a big problem. That assault happened in January 2021, a second one months later. Did you kick her hard? Yes, I can't believe I did that. I've never seen you like this. I'm not coping. Despite having the police tapes, the Commission didn't confront the foster dad about the inconsistencies in his evidence. The magistrate said he wasn't convinced of a cover-up because the questioning was vague, so he dismissed all 5 charges.
Sergeant Lonergan, you must be disappointed by the outcome? The magistrate took about 20 minutes to deliver his judgment. When he was finished, the foster parents stood up, hugged and burst into tears.
Yet another chapter in the William Tyrrell saga closes, with police no closer to finding out what happened to him. Leonie Ryan, 7 News.
Affordable housing is the key focus for local councils as demand continues to outstrip supply. New draft strategies are encouraging smaller dwellings and multi-level development in the Clarence Valley and Coffs Coast.
The task of putting a roof over your head is proving impossible for some. Homeless shelters on the Coffs Coast struggling to keep pace.
Pete's Place have told me recently that they used to see 10 people, now they see 100 in every day.
Shelter New South Wales listing the Coffs Coast in the top 5 areas most in need of affordable housing. Council launching a new draft housing strategy, allowing for more secondary dwellings, multi-level and high-density housing.
And that's encouraging people to think about smaller block sizes, multiple dwellings on a block.
Also hoping to tap into $10 billion earmarked by the Commonwealth to boost affordable housing.
I'd like Coffs to get some priority over those funds.
The shortfall in smaller lot housing also being felt in the Clarence Valley.
The data shows that the Clarence Valley has higher rental stress, lower incomes and smaller households than the state average.
Demand for 1 and 2 bedroom accommodation far outstripping supply.
It's single older people who might have gone through a divorce and aren't that nuclear family, and it's younger people who, say, might be a nurse in our Grafton-based hospital.
Council loosening its development control plans, incentives already in place for more granny flats.
For example, we don't have developer contributions on secondary dwellings under 60 square metres, so there is an ability for people to deliver that housing product on their own blocks already in the Clarence Valley.
The draft housing strategy opened to public comment until the 11th of December. Liz Penny, 7 News.
A shortage of housing continues to cause problems in the Northern Rivers, but Lismore City Council hopes an event this weekend might be the beginning of a long-term solution.
On the front foot and launching their first ever Housing Expo. Lismore City Council hopes a one-stop shop this weekend will be the first step in addressing the region's housing crisis.
This is more about a housing expo as far as building and construction. There isn't anything in regards to rental advice at this particular expo, but this is the first of what we are hoping to be an annual event in Lismore.
Mayor Steve Krieg says it's a great opportunity for everyone, whether they're retrofitting their house, raising it or relocating after last year's floods.
Well, we know what we've lived through in the last 18 months. It's about how we cope with that and how we come back bigger and better than ever.
There are more than 3,500 residential lots with development approval at the new Eastwood estate in Gunnellabar.
No, this is hopefully starting the wheels turning to get those residential lots opened up so that people have somewhere to build. And
Council Coordinator of Strategic Planning, Andy Parks, says they see it as an opportunity for the entire region. They want to assist people in whatever stage of the housing journey they're on.
Whether you're looking at building a second house in your backyard, whether you're a first home buyer, whether you're looking at raising, retrofitting, relocating, wherever you are in the kind of housing stage.
So it's a really good opportunity, and as I said before, it's free advice. You don't get that every day of the week.
The expo will be held at South Lismore Bowling Club between 10 a.m and 2 p.m on Saturday. Paul Jobber, 7 News.
The stop work order has been issued to a Foster apartment building on Wallace Street. Construction was ordered to stop by 5 p.m. on November 3 after New South Wales Fair Trading found the development was being built beyond the current construction certificate. There was no builder on site that was licensed to undertake any building work in relation to the development. This comes after New South Wales Fair Trading visited more than 70 building sites across the Mid-North Coast in October, where they found some traders without the appropriate licensing to be working. Among their visits, $11,000 of fines were issued, with 7 matters now under investigation, including this stop work order. Well, Kirsty joins us now with a look at how today shaped up weather-wise. And Kirsty, it was a little cooler today, but still quite humid.
Yeah, that's right, Maddie. Nick, hello to you both and good evening, everybody. We did see those conditions ease along the coast today in terms of our rainfall following some very wet weather in the last 48 hours. In the south, it was partly cloudy. We did have some offshore showers around about Coffs Harbour, about the mid-coast, and we continue to see just a few light showers for inland regions. That included Grafton around early the afternoon. Humid conditions, as Maddie said, during the day too, with some breezy east-northeasterly winds. Yamba, a top of 23 degrees with just a slight scattering of showers around about 11:30 this morning. And it was similar further north at Coolangatta on the Queensland border with a top of 24. We are expecting clearer skies from tomorrow for the middle of our working week. I'll have a look at that forecast a little later on in the bulletin.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kirsty. We'll see you soon.
Still to come in 7 News, a fully recovered fur seal released back into the ocean on the Coffs Coast.
And no horses, but the region's best dash hounds take centre stage in Port Macquarie.
And a little later on this news hour, 2 men arrested 24 hours after a deadly crash that killed 2 young boys. Plus, Australia's relationship with China seems to be on the mend after years of trade bans and open hostility. And 1 month on, there's still no hope of a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas.
Welcome back. A critically injured fur seal has been returned to the ocean after months of rehabilitation. It's the latest successful rescue and release by the newly launched Coffs Coast Wildlife Sanctuary.
Noah the long-nosed fur seal was rescued from a headland south of Urunga in August, weak and malnourished and suffering an injury to her right eye.
It might have been related to an attack by a predator, so a shark or similar.
Newly weaned, the pup's loss of eyesight had hampered her capacity to hunt, limiting her chances of survival.
If they're out in the wild trying to hunt for their food, they obviously can't find their food and spot their food as easily, so her chances probably would have been quite slim without intervention.
Treatment was administered daily to repair the damage to her eye, Noah's weight doubling to over 17 kilos on a steady diet of fish.
When she was very, very skinny, she was eating around 2 or being fed 2 kilos of fish every day.
Her vision restored, she was ready for release in the Solitary Islands Marine Park, ready and raring to go.
That's something that we do want to see from our fur seals as well. The feistier they are, they've got a good prey response, so we know that she'll be able to look after herself back in the ocean.
Noah is the first animal released since the Coffs Coast Wildlife Sanctuary was relaunched, continuing the legacy of animal rescue with a large dose of fresh vision.
New signage, we're doing some internal display changes, we've got a new menu coming for our Peckish Penguin Cafe.
The non-for-profit organisation better equipped to secure funding and donations, the new management hoping to tempt back some familiar fases.
And we want to bring our locals back, so we'll be hopefully doing some type of local deal coming up in the next few weeks.
Liz Penny, 7 News.
Well, while most of the attention today, I should say, was on the Melbourne Cup, another big race took place in Port Macquarie. The annual Dash Hound Cup was run and won on the town green, with the popular winner claiming all the honours.
They turned out in style in their race day finest, fascinators, frocks and arrival by chariot. All preparations underway for the race that stopped the town green, the Dash Hound Melbourne Cup. After a couple of late scratchings, the field was in silks and behind the starting gates, the runners chomping at the bit for glory. It was Cup Day favourite Pippa in the number 7 who got the early jump. Bailey in the number 3 in second and a photo finish for third, the judges awarding that honour to number 2, Barchi.
For third, it was pretty close. But yeah, first and second, Pippa got across the line, clear of everyone else.
The punters were on the money for the win, Pippa not only taking the cup but successfully defending her title.
No surprises. Due to the fact she's a therapy dog and learnt all her racing skills with the boys at MacKillop College, she's still our champion.
And it's not a race day victory without a presentation rug and, of course, the cup.
She loves doing it. She loves having a run. And she's always tearing around the backyard, chasing a ball and keeping the ball and not sharing it.
Today's Dachshund Cup is a chance to dress up and have some fun and friendly competition. Plus, all the dogs who raced are under 5 to look after their health. But it also serves a purpose, training the region's Dachshunds.
The idea really is to teach them recall and run to their masters. So that is it. It's a small, short race and the dogs love it.
Samantha Crowe, 7 News.
Still to come in 7 News, a trio of Grafton mountain bike riders returned from the World Championships.
And all the action from Cup Day at Taree Racecourse.
Tomorrow on Sunrise, Australia's springback suburbs, where it's up to 17% cheaper to buy now than 12 months ago.
Plus, a walk a day to keep the doctor away. The new research revealing how many daily steps you need to live longer.
See you in the morning.
Welcome back. The Melbourne Cup at Flemington was the focus for many people today, but the Manning Valley Race Club also had their own annual event. Punters were out in style, hedging their bets, hoping to come away with a big win.
Mark Zara, a Melbourne Cup champion.
It may not be the Melbourne Cup or the big dance, but Manning Valley Racecourse has put on just as good of a show.
Look, we're very lucky. We're one of 10 clubs in New South Wales today to be able to hold a meeting. And as we know, the Melbourne Cup, or Big Dance Day as well as it is at Randwick, it's great to be able to bring the community together, and that's what you've seen here today.
Over 1,000 punters were out in style. Fascinators on, drinks in hand, and excited for an action-packed day of racing.
Yeah, it's nice being able to get out of the mum zone and come out with some friends and have a day on the races.
Everything's been excellent here today. Everyone's very well behaved, and which is great to see, and it's a beautiful day. It's a lovely breeze.
Taree Racetrack held 5 races, putting the spotlight on country racing.
That's the whole thing. I always say that, you know, the fabric of racing, full stop, is country.
Up-and-comer Molly Fitzgerald secured the win in race 3. Hoping to one day grace the track at Flemington.
I think everyone dreams of riding in the Melbourne Cup, so yeah, it would be amazing to be able to achieve that one day.
Many punters placed their bets, some even coming away with a big win.
I managed to win a whole $1.80. I'm not going to spend it all in the one spot.
So far, so good. We've had a couple of collects, but nothing too huge, but it's going to get better, trust me.
Hannah Hartup, 7 News.
North Coast local David Alley is approaching the halfway mark of his world record attempt kayaking the length of the Murray River. He's currently ahead of the pace needed to achieve the record, averaging 16 hours in the kayak per day. The flow rate of the river has caused some difficulty, as well as hidden branches causing the kayak to capsize a few times. Alley needs to reach Goolwa by 10:05 a.m. on November 17 to rewrite the history books.
Grafton riders have rocketed to the top of the podium at the 24-hour Mountain Biking World Championships. Over 100 riders from 12 countries vied for top honours at the challenging Armidale University track. A grinding 24-hour race began at midday and continued throughout the night and even into the following morning.
Quite steep, lots of rocky sections, which was really demanding. Each lap was 14 kilometres with 250 metres of climbing.
Grafton's Grant Hodgins churned out a gruelling 22 laps to take out the first in the 40 to 44 age division. His teammate Michelle Newstead took out the reigning champion to snatch the national and world title in the over 55s. First timer Benjamin Luxton, also from Grafton, finished in second in the under 23s.
Still to come in 7 News, Kirsty's in with your local weather forecast. We'll see you in just a tick.
Good evening, everyone. A low-pressure trough is developing over parts of the state, causing showers and thunderstorms. Meanwhile, conditions are feeling humid for many. This trough will deepen through Thursday, which will cause showers to increase over eastern parts of New South Wales, heightening the risk of severe thunderstorms and forcing heat to build. Some parts of our state could see temperatures as much as 10 degrees above average through Saturday and Sunday. At this stage, we're not expecting any more than about 3 to 5 millimetres along the coast over the coming week, though, as this trough lingers mainly over the inland. Taking a look to our midweek forecast first, and we will feel warmer temperatures for some for tomorrow. Maximums reaching the mid-20s around Nambucca Heads and Port Macquarie, the high 20s for Wauchope and for Kempsey. There is a very slight chance of some inland showers with thunderstorms too. We are expecting conditions to remain humid along the coast with a moderate northeasterly breeze. On the waters, north to northeasterly winds once again around 20 to 25 knots, with sea heights increasing to about 2 metres and our swell hovering around 2 to 3 feet. On to Thursday, once again, that chance of an inland shower and possible storm, that mainly during the second half of the day. Otherwise, partly cloudy across the region, some gusty winds about the south, increasing speed during the middle of the day. Further north, Coffs Harbour 26 and partly cloudy, and Evans Head reaching a top of 25 degrees. On Friday, though, showers are expected to return along the coast around 4 to 5 millimetres, mainly for the mid-coast, while in the north and certainly towards the northern rivers, it is expected to remain more settled. Winds easing across the day, some patchy sunshine, and 23 for Byron Bay and 26 at Tweed Heads. A bit of everything over the next few days, guys.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Yeah, it sure is.
Thanks, Kirsty. All right, now for a quick look at fuel prices around the region. The best for unleaded in Foster is $1.96 at the Ampol, Mobil or Independent Servo. Diesel is $2.19 at Pearl Energy. In Ballina, the Metro Petroleum has unleaded for $2.03. The Shell Servo has diesel for $2.28. The Mobil on Ocean Drive in Port Macquarie has unleaded at $1.88, and the Independent on Gordon Street has diesel for $2.12. And at Woolgoolga, unleaded is $1.99 at the United, and the Ampol has diesel for $2.19.
And that's all we have time for tonight. Thanks for watching. You can catch up at our website or, of course, at 7+.
Right now, Dan's got your national news. Enjoy your night. We'll see you tomorrow at 6 o'clock.